Knowing that agriculture is vital to Kenya's economy, contributing 26% of the GDP, on Food Thursday we bring you conversations centered on farming, agribusiness and food security, which is part of the Big Four agenda. Today on the show we talk about poultry farming.
Hello. Very well. Thank you so much for having us. Okay, so you have poultry here.
So let's first wash our hands,
Okay.
because it is important that we keep to rules and regulations, especially because COVID is real. Yeah.
So you're keeping germs at bay.
Yes, COVID is real, my friend.
So here you have poultry. On the poultry you have another farm, you said.
This is what we call our brooder farm. We have a brooder farm and now we have our farm. So here ideally we keep chicks from day old to 3 weeks. Although this may not necessarily be what you see in the farm, because the last since December, COVID has also hit us. So we're not, because we import our birds. So we've had challenges importing our birds. So you'll not be able to see the small little birds that I've been talking about. You'll only be able to see the mature ones.
Oh, so you import birds?
Yes, when they are day olds. And we bring them. This has a capacity of around 16,000 birds. Yes.
Okay. So and then you have a farm as well. So this is for what, subsistence?
So this farm is very interesting because we share this farm with my cuckoos. You'll see a lot of this terere, which is very beautiful. So we eat it, but we also give it to our birds. Yes, okay. But it's more or less like our kitchen farm. This part is more of the herbal. We have more herbs this side, but that side is more of vegetables, greens that can be given to the birds.
Poultry farming contributes largely to the Kenyan economy and fulfills the large demand of nutrition value. Today on Food Thursday, we are coming to you from Kuroiler, Rongai in Kajiado County. I will be speaking to Teresia Wedrimu, who's going to be telling us more about a new method of rearing chicken. We know of broilers and layers, but today we'll be looking at Kuroiler farming. Join me.
So where are we right now?
We are in Rongai. This is in Kajiado County. This particular place is called Kuroiler. But if you want more specific, you actually call it Kuroiler North. So this is Kuroiler North, Kajiado County. This is where we do. This is where we started. Ideally, this is where we started small, and we're still doing small here. And then we have our farm in Kajiado County where we slowly expanding. But this is a small space where we just tried to work on our poultry farm, like more or less like an experimental piloting. And especially now with COVID, where everybody has been told to go home, majority of us are home, not very sure whether we'll have a job next time. But yeah, we found interest in poultry farming, and we feel like it's going to be a long journey for us, and we are determined to pursue small steps until we get there.
Okay.
Yes.
And poultry farming, we have been growing up, we have been keeping chicken at our homes, and we've been seeing them walking around in the compound.
Yeah.
And so is that the reason why you settled for poultry farming? Why poultry farming?
I'll tell you about poultry from my own perspective, and especially what you've asked about growing up and seeing poultry farming and chicken. Well, let's not call it farming. Yeah, it was more of a way of life, where you wake up. When you wake up, the cuckoos wake up, they go look for food, and then you come back in the evening, everybody comes back with whatever he has found, including the cuckoos. So the cuckoo will give you the return in terms of eggs, but ideally you're not even feeding the cuckoos, they're just scavenging for themselves. For me, that's where I'm coming from, having been brought up in a small scale farming, but also having gone to school, and professionally I'm a social scientist. And having done a lot of work with development and in communities, and having understood the purpose of chicken in our livelihoods. So I started up a project when I was a small girl, we used to call it Wodhuawe Moko na Ngoko. If you go to Machakos area, you find almost every household has cuckoos. But even right now in the rural households where people have space, you'll always find that people have 2, 3, 4 cuckoos. Some you don't even count them in the evening when they're getting in the house. You don't even know how many they are, but somehow kukona cuckoo. And I realized that chicken is a valuable product in the community. It is what is slaughtered when a special visitor gets in. But it's also something that the women feel comfortable to sell without necessarily consulting the big man of the house or all those kind of things. So within that project, we're trying to see how can chicken be the source of livelihood for these women. But it couldn't work as much because the kienyeji kuku we have is very difficult to do business with it. It's still good business for sure, and I'm not undermining it for rightly, but I'm just saying you can't keep the numbers that you want. So within my search, I discovered a kuku called Kuroiler, and I discovered also somebody who has a vision that I have, like using cuckoo as an agent of change in transforming the rural livelihoods. So this guy is called Vinor Kapoor in India, and he started up like over, I think he's around 85 years old, but the company is over 50 years now. And he started to work on this indigenous chicken to see how can this indigenous chicken be beneficial to the women. So I learned a lot from what he's doing and just studying the whole value chain of the cuckoo and all that. And so the cuckoo that we raise is called Kuroiler, whose origin is India.
Okay, so it is not a broiler.
It's not a broiler. It's not a layers. It's not a kienyeji, but it is a product that has been bred from different characteristics of indigenous birds. So giving us the characteristic of an indigenous bird that we would do business with. And that's what is most important. Remember, I've just mentioned to you the challenges we have with indigenous birds. By the time you're selling your cuckoo at around 600 shillings, kameka 1 year. And then still it's like a small little thing. So we needed to look at how can we have these indigenous birds grow a little bit faster than a kienyeji chicken, but slower than a broiler. So we had to look at the characteristics of, okay, I mean, I'm not the breeder, so I'm speaking on behalf of what I have studied. And so they had to look at all these characteristics and bring it together to one bird. So why I interact with this bird and why I do business with this bird is because you can raise it as a kienyeji bird. And you've asked me that there are various types of birds, number one, but there's also various types of raising birds. So I thought, okay, so which is this bird that can be raised? You can go to Busia, in the interior of Busia, and find it, And I thought this is the kienyeji, because our vision is to transform rural livelihoods through agribusiness, but particularly the chicken as the agent of change. So we picked this bird called the Kuroiler bird, and we have been working with it to educating farmers on how can you keep it, but also because it has the characteristics of a kienyeji bird. So the way you asked me, the way you woke up and saw chicken walking around, this bird can also do the same. The difference is that this bird will give you higher productivity, even on scavenging. So I thought that this is the bird because my intention was to be able to do an inclusive business. And I'll be telling you a little bit more about the model that we use. So my whole idea was to have an inclusive business which would sort of be able to feed a number of people, but particularly the women and the youth, creating employment, which is what we want to do in this country. Creating employment for the young people, but also for the youth. So ideally, this bird was the answer for me. Its characteristics is very interesting because you can raise it as a backyard bird, but you can also, its productivity is high. It will give you like 150 eggs in a year, while the normal kienyeji will give you between 20 to 30 eggs, sorry. When you come to the meat, it will, like the njogos would weigh between 3.5 kgs in 4 months. The kienyeji njogo, by the time it is 4 kgs or 3.5 kgs, it's like a whole year. So for us, we felt like this is a bird that can be able to help our vision. So when you go to the farmers, we get a number of things that we train them. Of course, we train them about the housing, which is common for all the birds.
Okay. Just before you go on, so then that means even the feeding is different.
Yes, the feeding is also different.
So
Is it organic, inorganic?
I would not say it is organic because there are quite a number of standards that you go through when you want to do an organic. But you can say it's very easy for it to get closer to an organic bird because first it's feeding you. Like for example, for us, we give our birds what we call the Kenyaji mash. There's no very clear standard of what a Kenyaji mash is, but what I'm saying is that you never chukua mahindi hapa, take a bit of soya. I mean, you have a simple composition of what a balanced meal should be. You have a carbohydrate, you have a starch and all that, and give the bird, and the bird will give you a feed. Ideally, even if you don't feed it, as long as you allow it out and you have organic waste within your compound, the bird will still be okay. They'll feed and they'll still give you eggs. But of course, that is still our traditional way of raising birds, like as a way of life. So, but when you come to raising the bird as a business, which is for me a very interesting discussion, then you have to think about the feed. What feed are you giving it? First, you don't give it the broiler quick meal like we give the broilers, like the broiler starter. So they grow fast. That's not the intention. Let it grow slowly because it is a slow bird compared to broilers. So give it the normal chick mash, give it the normal growers. And if you want it to go to lay, then you can give it Kenyaji layers. You can do your own mixing the feed, bring maize, sunflower, mix all these things. These what they call ochona, I hope. Yeah, ochona or romena or something like that. They mix all these things. Then give it some bit of vegetables. You see in our farm, there's a lot of vegetables growing. It's not that we can't dig this farm, but we like all these greens coming up. And then you'll be able to see that we also give our chicken a lot of vegetables. And that's all you need.
Okay, so
yes.
for the Kuroiler, that's what you call them?
Yes.
Yes, for the Kuroiler farming. So what does it take to start? Where do you get
you start?
Eggs
yes. I'll take you back to what we started when you talked about being an inclusive business model, and I'll share with you how we do it ourselves and how we get our own market. So we have a model called the Yetu model, the Women and Youth Economic Transformation Units. This is our marketing model. This model is an inclusive business where even you come and you decide, I want to do something, you will somehow be able to find a niche for yourself within the model. So this is how the model operates. First, we've said that we need to be able to have a good bird that can be comfortable in the rural setup, right? But these people still have challenges in terms of maybe hawana stima, or maybe because a baby chicken needs the warmth. There's what requirements of this bird. So we decided to emulate what a mother chicken would do. A mother chicken sits on egg. After 21 days, we have the chicks. So it takes care of these chicks for another 3-4 weeks before they are kicked out and the bird can start laying again. That's actually one of the reasons why the normal Kenyaji birds don't lay eggs throughout, because you have to give them time to sit. Exactly. So this Kuroiler egg doesn't get broody, so it doesn't sit on eggs. So we needed to have a mother who can emulate the chicken mother. So this mother, we call them the mother units. So within the setup, the way we do business, we set up what we call a mother unit. Like in this region, there's a mother unit. And this is not us who said, it is demand driven. So you'll come and tell me, by the way, Teresa, I want to start, and this is the question you asked, I want to start the Kuroiler farming. Where can I start? How do I go about it? So we'll take you through a process. We'll be able to understand what is your business model. What is your vision? What do you want to do? How much can you expand? But how small can you start? Because, for example, if you meet a customer who's been raising like 5,000 broilers and you tell him, you need to start with 100 Kuroilers, you look at you and like, it doesn't make economic sense, you know? But if you go in the village and you're looking at farmers who are keeping 5 birds, 10, and then tell them, okay, now I want you to start with 50, then it makes sense. So for us, we target these small scale farmers who can start small and we see them grow. So it's not very defined on how we start. But coming back to the model, our model helps us train the farmers on business ideas. Because again, when you come back to Kenyaji chicken, you can raise these birds without knowing where do I start and where do I end. But within our model, what we're able to make it clear is the boundaries. So as a mother unit, you raise birds from day 1 to 3 weeks. Yeah, so your work is to brood. Your work is to give these birds the warmth that the chicken mother would do. And then after 3 weeks, you hit them, kick, like the mother chicken would kick. You kick them to what we now call the households. So if for example, you're doing 100 birds, you can do your calculations. 100 birds, zinakula bags ngapi za chakula, what kind of housing do I need, where do I need to position it, and all that. And then after 3 weeks, you start building a network around you. This network is now for households. People who are like, oh my goodness, I can't wake up at night to go look at the chicks. I mean, it's not a job for everybody. Eh? So those people will be able now to take the 3 weeks old and raise them to maturity. So know that now the birds that you find them walking around the compound and all that. Eh? And within our model, we recommend that a household who is raising these birds to maturity does not keep birds of the same age more than 100 birds, because we want them to enjoy your space. And we are cognizant that people have limited space. So you build small structures where these birds can walk around, enjoy the sun. It's more like a free range. So now you can more or less go to organic. I prefer to use free range than organic, because at some point maybe they're sick, you want to give them some antibiotics, or maybe you want to give them something, yeah? And then you don't even have the standards clear on how do we make these birds organic, right?
So from what I gather,
yeah,
is that Kuroilers are not like broilers and layers. So then the mother hen does not lay on the eggs, does not lay on the eggs.
Yes.
So then the farmer is required to take care of the conditions
yes.
that will be conducive.
Yes, exactly.
The chicks are 1 week.
Yes,
week, so
yes.
From what I gather,
yeah,
is that Kuroilers are not like broilers and layers. So then the mother hen does not lay on the eggs, does not lay on the eggs.
Yes.
So then the farmer is required to take care of the conditions
yes.
that will be conducive.
Yes, exactly.
The chicks are 1 week.
Yes,
week, so
yes. So that becomes a mother unit. That is what we're calling a mother unit. So when you now come to the business model, because remember you're trying to transform the way we used to raise birds as a livelihood to a business. So business requires concepts. It requires, I need to know, ninaleta nguo kutoka Uganda, nakuja ninaziuza, alafu naendea zingine, something like that. You need to be able to understand where does your business start and where does it end. So within this model, we're able to help farmers define their business. So for those who do 5,000, they started with 50. They went 800. They're like, actually, this thing is, they went 1,000, 2,000, 2,500. Now they can comfortably do 5,000. They've also, again, made their own market. So we're not even supporting them do the marketing, yeah? But for us, our ideal mother unit is 800 birds. But you don't even start with 800. You start with 100, under 200.
You grow gradually.
Exactly. And then, of course, now the households, now the other part of because the numbers is in the households. So these households raise these birds for a maximum of 3 months if they're doing meat. So at meat, the Kenyan market for meat requires that this bird has enjoyed the sun. That's why we reduce the number to 100. It enjoys the sun. It's able to do free range. It's able to enjoy the vegetables and all that. When you raise this bird like this, it acquires a yellow characteristic, which is okay. I mean, this funny how market behaves. Wanasema wanataka kama futa ka yellow, which is acquired by when you use the vegetables. And then
I see that too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. For me, really,
that's what the market is asking for.
That's what the market is asking. But the taste is more or less like the same. You just need to don't give it if you're not producing a broiler. I keep insisting that don't produce a broiler. Produce a Kenyaji, something closer to a Kenyaji chicken. Yeah, that's it. Yes, so now the households, again, they have now a clear business model of what they want to do. They want to be able to be, like for example, for us, we usually work with groups, who are not our households. So we tell them, okay, you need to be able to raise the birds to 3 months and then start selling them when you can comfortably sell it at 700 kwenda juu.
So it means that at 3 months, the birds are...
Exactly. At 3 months, that bird, when it's slaughtered, will give you 1.5 kgs. When it is live weight, is around 2.3. Yet you have raised it in the normal Kenyaji way you are raising the other birds. So at 3 months, you're able to sell this bird from 700 kwenda juu. Interesting enough is that when you keep this bird to a month, to another month, 4 months, 5 months, you can sell this bird at 1,000, 1,500 because it's now a bigger bird. The unfortunate thing with this is that we don't have many clients who want to buy this bird that expensive. So if, for example, we want to do the wholesale, which is the question you asked me, if you want, for example, unataka mtu, the farmers call it kufagia. Somebody comes and picks your whole 50, that means that that person is not going to eat. He's going to sell. So you can't sell 1,500 because maybe probably at a anaenda kuuza the 1,500. So meaning that you have to have a lower price. That's why we recommend start selling your birds at 700 when they're 3 months. Don't keep them for 5 months.
So and then, so this kind of concept, it's still new in the market.
Yes.
So how do you exactly allocate, like, you know this is gonna be the market, or how do you market yourselves?
We market ourselves a lot through social media. So we have a platform called the Kuroiler Kenya 2021, where most of our clients are in the platform, and our customers are nationally. We have customers as far as Ukunda, Busia, Kisumu, Siaya, everywhere.
And how open are Kenyans to the idea of Kuroiler birds?
You know, the beauty of it is that there are two things about it. It's a good product. You eat the Kuroiler meat, you're happy. It's tasty, it's juicy, it has a bite. So the kuku itself sells itself. We're not struggling. The only problem is that people don't have this information. So the moment, for example, and this is what I find interesting, that if you eat our bird, you will call next time and you will tell your friends about it. It's not so much about selling the bird. It's about selling the information. Because the bird itself is the egg is super, it's nice, it's good. It's bigger than the normal egg, and then it has that dark yellow yolk. And I mean, these birds are eating the vegetables and all that. We don't recommend caged Kuroilers because it's a heavy bird, so you'll have difficulties when you cage them. So it's more on free range, and it makes the bird more healthy. So if you have a healthy bird, you have a healthy egg, and so you'll also be healthy somehow.
Okay, so yeah. It's bigger than the normal egg. We'll be looking at that shortly.
Yeah.
And so, what are some of the challenges that are involved in Kuroiler farming?
What I found a little bit challenging is that lack of information, because the more you go to the market with the product, they'll tell you, sio Kenyaji, sio broiler, so what is it? We don't want it. People are not giving us a chance to test this bird and sell it as is. It is, that's why I told you about the yellow legs, because we are struggling to make it a yellow leg for purposes of meeting the Kenyaji standard. Yet it is a superior product than the Kenyaji bird. Yeah.
And then from what I know about, let's say even chicken farming, so I know there are sometimes some diseases come and they wipe out
yes.
whole.
Yes.
So again, when you're growing the Kuroiler chicken, so what are some of the ways that you maybe medication? They need to protect them.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. And remember, we talked about the mother unit number 1. Within the mother unit, there's certain recommendations that goes with that for purposes of disease control. There's nothing as important as disease control than treatment. We actually advocate for control measures, which we call the biosafety measures. Like if you look at the entrance of our farm, you don't just enter. There are certain regulations that we make, because as much as possible, we want to prevent disease. And prevention is much easier and cheaper than treatment. So I'll share with you the two. So at the mother unit, we have the vaccination. So by the time the households are taking this bird, it has already been vaccinated. The purposes of vaccinating, which I mean, there's all this discussion about vaccination and corona and all that. The purposes of vaccinating the chicks when they are small is for us to prevent the viral diseases. We have diseases like the Newcastle, the Gumboro, the Marex and all that. So this we're able to take care of in the first 3 weeks. After that, at 6 weeks, we do another vaccination called the fallpox. When you're doing the fallpox, these birds are already with the farmers. And this is what I told you why it is an inclusive business model. So within groups of farmers, we're able to raise one young person who is able to learn how to do the vaccinations for the households. So he goes and does the fallpox vaccine at 6 weeks. At 8 weeks, there's another vaccination called the fall typhoid, which again, this young farmer can be able to do it at household level and earns an income, right? So when you have vaccinated your birds, at least you've eliminated almost 90% of the challenges. The other thing is usafi. We have diseases like coccidiosis. If your water is dirty, if unaenda tu kuna dirty shoes and all that, if you don't keep cleanliness in your farm in general, you get diseases like bacterial diseases, one of them being coccidiosis. So within this platform, which I've told you that most of my clients are, they're able to share a video of a challenge that they're going through. We have vets on board. They're able to share a photo. They are able to get recommendation from the vet. And where we can't, we're able to ask them, please let a vet visit your farm. Things like that. When you see our birds on day one, they're quite vibrant, running everywhere, and we actually subject them to stress. Like at times you can switch off the lights, you hear them making noise immediately, they're so sensitive. Or you can walk them around the farm. It's a different language to understand that. But you can go there and try and chase them from one corner to another corner. Yes, for them to run around and for you to be able to pick the weak ones and help support you to drink water. You can't do that for broilers. In fact, even like for example, when our dogs bark, you'll hear the birds will make noise, but you don't expect any mortality. If the dogs bark and the broilers are here, they go on one corner, you'll find heavy mortality. So these ones are a bit stress-free. They are also very, very, very easy to handle. Yes.
So now I want us to, I don't know if we'll taste the eggs first, or we'll take a look at just the housing.
Okay. I suggest we do the housing and then we can taste the eggs. So that I can also call my team and tell them to prepare.
That's good.
Okay. So usually when farmers come here, we show them what we call sort of like a model of what every farmer should do. Not even every farmer, every household should have. Actually, when you bring in the concept of food security, which is very important in our project, that if you have a small structure like this, you're able to have a few female and a few male. Right now there are many because these are more for slaughter. Actually, all these are njogos, but usually we have 3 females and 2 male. Meaning that if you're able to produce 3 eggs in a day, you have enough for your household. And if you have a small space, you only need this number of birds, 5 of them, and you're in terms of egg and protein, you're sorted. Yes, exactly. And then a few njogos, moja ni ya kukula, and then nyingine ni ya kufanyia wadada kazi yao.
So now that Easter is here.
Yes, exactly. So actually these ones we brought them here because of Easter. So these ones are from the farm in Kajiado. If you look at them, then you'll be able to see the yellow leg you're talking about. Because in Kajiado we're able to release them into the grassland. So this is usually our demo. Like even if you don't need to be a farmer, but you need to be cautious about where do I get my source of protein. So you can imagine if I have an egg here, I have some bit of sukuma wiki, nisiage mahindi, my family is set. Not only kushiba, but also nutritionally, they are set because they have a protein, they have a vegetable, which is vitamins, and they have a starch. Yes, so you don't have to be a farmer.
So this is the basic.
Basic.
Anyone could just start.
Exactly. Exactly. So we keep, even when we have chicks in the farm, this is why we like to show them that this is the kind of bird you're keeping, and this is how you need to keep it.
Okay.
So from here, we'll go, the concept of a chicken farmer or a chicken farm is that you start with where is more sensitive. And where it is more sensitive is the brooders. So you go to the brooder farm first. Even when it comes to feeding, when you have birds of different age, you feed the babies first. So you go to the nurseries, and brooders is like a nursery, nursery tu ya kawaida, nursery ya shule and all that.
So for the young ones.
For the young ones, for the young ones. Now I'm trying to include all this because I know farmers will watch the show and they want to understand what are we trying to explain. So I told you that biosecurity is very important. So this, I don't know that it's legible. This first says that this is a biosecurity area, no authorized entry. So this stops you to think. You don't haraka na unaingia. So when you come here, you first remove your shoes. Because I don't know where you're coming from. You could be, and we're not saying you're dirty, we're just saying we don't know what you're staying. Usually after that, we step in here like this. This is just an additional security measure.
So what does the water have?
The water has a disinfectant. Hey, it's okay.
I think I just got water inside my... Okay.
So when chickens start producing eggs, they produce such a little small egg. Okay. So this means it is the first time it's laying an egg. Little that time you can.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the
first time. Yeah. The monos. Yes.
So with time.
With time it will increase. Actually, the second time it lays, it will be bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But you'll be able to see the birds and see. So these are our brooders. I think maybe I should show you. Right now we're not using them as brooders because COVID is real. So we don't have chicks. So we have maize instead. So you see, remember you asked me about the housing. Yeah. You see the ventilation. Yeah. So we use the sacks as curtains, and then you see this thing that is hanging here is a gas brooder. So the gas brooder is able to give the chicks the warmth they require. So in this space, you're able to keep 2,500 birds. This space.
Oh, so here then there'd be brooders would be like about a week.
Yeah. So here, so we'll keep them for around 14 days with the heat, and then we'll start removing gradually the heat. So they will raise them here for around 3 weeks, and then you can release them out to the farmers. But now our concept is different because when we actually import our chicks, so when they come and land here, they can land here today and go the following day. Yeah, because now we're distributing them. So this becomes more like our distributing center. So we bring in the chicks, and then the following day they are being packaged to Kisumu, Muhoroni, Meru, like that.
And you said you import them when they're only
the odds. They're hatched like this, and we bring them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for now you don't have them?
Right now we don't have them.
You're not importing at the moment?
We would want to, but regulations are a bit getting crazy. Yeah. Okay. Because we're bringing our birds as far as India, the chicks. But India since last year we have had challenges because the flights was number one. Number two, just the normal regulations. So now we're hoping that to be able to have birds, I think end of April. Yeah. So this also plays the same part as you've seen that. So you still have to actually before you enter. So right now we are a bit not very tight because they're not chicks. Yes. Okay. Yes. And this is what I told, that if you're able to abide by these standards, then you have no issues with the diseases. Yeah. So again, this is that's our second brood. This is our first brooder. This one. So again, it doesn't have buds, but it has the same concept.
You can see the oxygen.
Yes, the heaters. And then of course we use this to. You will discover that we have different sizes. These ones are the ones. This is small size, the drinkers. These are the ones that are recommended for chicks. Yeah. We have smaller ones, but for us, this is what we use. And then we have the bigger ones that can be used for the big birds. So these ones have just been left like this. We've washed, disinfected, and now we're waiting for the next time we have the birds. Okay. Yeah.
Which is
end of April. We're hoping that end of April on 26th. If you come on 26th, you'll be shocked with what you will see.
Yeah, might just be coming back.
Yeah. But of course, we're hoping that things will work out as we expect. Yeah. So what you see in this farm is of course, the feeders. I've shown you that. I've told you that these ones are bigger now than the ones. You see, those are bigger. This is water, colored water.
Oh, okay.
This colored water.
So what's
the purpose of it is to distract them. To keep them busy, so they will be wondering, nini. So they'll come and
start poking.
Yeah. So this way we're able to avoid cannibalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is manjogoo peke yake. We separated the female from the jogos, but they're all the same age. Yeah. So let's see the female, the male.
So and then they're feeding time.
Oh. So they feed in the morning and in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've just now they're feeding.
Yeah, they know they're feeding.
So in the morning at around what time?
Around 8, between 8 and 9, depending on also what is being done in the farm. Because we rake this farm, we keep turning the manure. Okay. We keep turning the manure, and of course collecting the feathers. Yeah. If you have a njogoo, we call it the slay king.
If it's white.
If it's white. And then if it's a girl, we call it the slay queen. Don't ask me why. This was done by our platform members. Okay. So on this side, we now have, this is our brooder 3, and then here we have the females. Let's see them. So these females, they just started laying eggs. It's an egg that I've just seen. They're not barely even 5 months.
And then the normal kienyeji.
The normal kienyeji will start laying.
How long do they take before they start laying eggs?
Probably around the 7th month or so. Yeah.
So again, this is
yeah. The normal layer, the hybrid layers that you see in the market should start laying by around 4.5 to 4.5 months or so.
Here people are becoming millionaires from rearing birds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So and we actually, it is our intention, or in our vision, we want to be able to create a few millionaires, a number of millionaires from our mother units. Because I mean, ideally, if we're able to raise a mother unit from, actually by last year in November, we had one person already doing 5,000. Then the market and our economy, you know, so with the pandemic, exactly. So come back. Why? So you can imagine if we have a mother unit raising even 2,000 birds or 2,500, and is able to sell them at 250. That's already by all definition is a millionaire.
Okay, so this is a business that we could totally get in.
This is the business that has kept me going since 2018. When I finished my PhD, I decided, let me try it. And for me, it's not just about what I get, but what I've seen with the farmers. Yeah. There's a way, when you get closer to it, it sits to be mated. So it sits properly because it wants the njogo to come up. And we felt that this is not the right stage for them. But you also want to produce eggs that are not fertilized. So that's why we had to remove the njogo, because we want our eggs to be not fertilized, not for... You asked me about sitting on egg. This bird will not get broody, but the egg can produce a chick. But you don't want to produce that egg. You want to produce an egg that can be eaten. Either egg you can eat, but for us we want to focus on the table egg. Yeah. You don't? Come.
Those thing visitors.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can now go and sample the eggs.
Yes.
And for these, how many of the females are here?
Oh, these are females.
How many?
200. We have one jogo there. You see that one with a big of this cock? But everything else here is female. Yeah.
So we can go and then sample the eggs.
Yeah.
So they feed these aggressively.
Yes. But when we have chicks, we remove this. This is very temporary, just for separating. Yeah. Remember, I've told you these are our brooders. So during when you have the normal chicks, we remove this. Second, there's something else I wanted to show you for chicks. You see that corner? You see that plywood that is right there? It's done like that deliberately to remove the right angle triangle for the house. That way we don't have birds going to one corner and causing mortality. Stipend. So we have to put the right angle triangle. Secondly, also is the ventilation. The ventilation is quite good. All what this bird requires is this is how we measure it, that when the bird stands, the wind should not touch the shoulder. Anything else can pass. So if you look at the height where we have the solid wall is quite small. You see, ideally from here to here is enough to cover the bird from wind.
True.
So the rest is ventilation. Ventilation. So these are some of the things that prevent diseases. Because we make it too congested and too stuffy, then bacteria come in. Yeah. So again, once you're out of the farm, you have to wash your hands. Now this is for your own health. You know, we also have diseases that are from birds. Yes. Yes. You tried.
On the table?
Yes.
So we start sampling. So this is a layer?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say from the brown layers, because they're all layers.
Ah.
Yes.
I know the taste.
That taste is familiar.
That taste is familiar. I've grown up eating that.
Yes.
That kind of egg. Okay. And so this is the Kuroiler.
Maybe you have tasted this, I think. At least it's more cooked like the same version.
They're similar?
Yeah.
Okay. There's actually a difference.
Okay,
There's actually a difference.
tell us.
It feels a little heavier.
But then I've never tried the we call it organoleptic test. So I'm also eager to hear what's the difference. For me, it's more of the color that surprises me. But I also but glad to hear from you.
I think it's a little heavier. So it's a, what would I call it? Like a rich taste. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is a day in life of a Kuroiler farmer. For Teresia Mungai, the improved chicken breed is not only a sole business but a platform to improve livelihood since it involves a community. For Food Thursday, I am Nancy Nalimer. Thank you for watching.